2023? What are the warning signals to know that your life is in big financial trouble? In tonight's recording, we're going to go over the big warning signals to know whether you will go bankrupt in 2023. And it starts with a mindset about how to approach your investments, your spending, your debt, and also your mindset. In tonight's recording, we go over the latest details on all this, and it starts right now. The way in which people will go bankrupt in 2023 is repeating the same nonsense that they fed themselves in 2022. Starts with stimulus. I'll believe it when it lands in my bank account. Did that work for you in 2022? It didn't work for you in 2022. It's not going to work in 2023. The way in which you approach stimulus is apply for it. If you're not getting this and grasping this very simple reality of how stimulus checks started in early 2020 with people applying for stimulus checks, if you're not grasping that now in December 2022, you'll go bankrupt in 2023. I'll believe it when it lands in my bank account. Someone said to me on Twitter just a few minutes ago, good. It's not going to land in your bank account in 2022 because you did nothing. You waited all year long while millions of viewers of this channel got monthly stimulus checks. Monthly stimulus checks over 9 months started in the month of March. They now have 9 months of stimulus checks. And they're going to get monthly stimulus checks all next year. And I'm not talking about one check, they're talking about 5 checks per month, $3,000 a month. Someone who doesn't listen and doesn't learn is going to go bankrupt in 2023. Next person is the person who repeats the nonsense back to themselves, is trying to convince themselves that they know what's right. What they know is incorrect. And if you see other people around you that are doing something different than you, whatever it is in life, and they're making big sums of money and you're not, then the reality is that they did something right and you did something wrong. And you can't talk it into non existence. If you're watching viewers in a live chat and they got massive stimulus, they got massive profits from corporate earnings or from stocks this year, they did really well in crypto or they did really well in real estate, and you didn't, then it says they did something right and you did something wrong. Don't try to convince yourself that you did right because you didn't. They got money and you didn't get it. It's as simple as that. People got money and you didn't, so reassess your error. Don't try to convince yourself that you're right. There's two ways to assess. One is, did you get what you wanted? No. Okay. Do you repeat what you did that was wrong that got you nothing? No. You figure out how to get it right. So let's go into that right now. People who will reassess and pivot and make changes for themselves in 2023 will not go bankrupt. People who would pivot and make changes very quickly to their lifestyles will not go bankrupt in 2023. So if you see that you're doing something in your lifestyle financially, whether it's spending or buying or investing, and it's not working, do not repeat back to yourself that it's working because it's not. It didn't work in 2022. It's not going to work in 2023. This is a sort of strange mindset that came out of COVID where people talk to themselves because we had no one to talk to during COVID. They talk to themselves. They say, but it's going to work eventually. No, it's not going to work. It didn't work in 2022. It's not going to work in 2023. Whatever you did financially and you thought it was going to work in 2022 and it didn't work, it's not going to work in 2023. Next, the people who are going to go bankrupt in 2023 are the people who do not want to take the time to learn how to do something right. And the most obvious example of this is what's called the bottom feeders, the people who are trying to time the market. They're trying to find the lowest of the lows of the stock market. They know what stocks they want to buy. They're just waiting for the lowest lows. They're trying to wait for the lowest lows of real estate. I want that house, but I don't want to pay this price. I want to wait till it gets lower. Warning signal. Everyone else is trying to do the same thing. Everyone else is trying to do the same thing. And again, don't think you are smarter or better than the next person because you're likely not. There's a lot of people trying to time the lows of the stock market and buy at the right time, time the lows of the real estate market and buy at the right time. Don't do that. If you think you need something, you move accordingly. Same thing with stimulus, same thing with stocks, same thing with real estate. You move accordingly as quickly and appropriately when you are informed. So, The way you should be looking at the trajectory of the next 12 months is preparing right now. Where are you going to be in December of 2023? Step one, understand how much assets you want to have on hand, how much cash you want to have on hand, and how much debt you want to have on hand. Look at that right now. If you have too much debt right now, and you do not have the amount of savings that you want to have, you need to change really quickly. You need to change really quickly because the debt you're carrying right now is going to be unsurmountably unaffordable. And that's how you'll go bankrupt. People will go bankrupt who simply thought that they can delay the situation and that eventually delaying it will cause the situation to go away. No, it won't go away. It will put you away with a bankruptcy. You don't want that to happen. So the way you do this first, of course, is getting as much stimulus as you can. Number two, stop spending. Stop spending. I know you were in a pandemic. You stayed at home. You weren't able to travel. You deserve a vacation. I know. Again, that's that internal voice that you're doing a lot. That's you're telling yourself, I deserve this. I deserve to go back and get lots of different trips, and I deserve this. Okay, stop that. You're not going to leave planet Earth for the next 2 years. So you need to stop spending, stop increasing the debt spending, increase as much savings you have, and budgeting. Brand new reports that came out in the last few months that Americans are not budgeting anymore. They stopped budgeting a long time ago. So what you need to do is look at where you are right now and figure out where you're heading. And let's go back over those details once again. Step one is to stop repeating the wrong nonsense, the stupid things that other people are saying, or maybe you're saying to yourself. Stop trying to teach yourself or self validate yourself with nonsense. Start with doing what's right today. Nonsense is Cardano is going to make a millionaire. Dogecoin will go to $1. Bitcoin will go to 50,000 by spring. These things are not going to happen. They're not going to happen. I'm going to time the market. I'm going to buy that house that it's currently listed at $1 million. I'm going to buy it at 700,000 because everyone is going to miss it. I'm going to get it right, and they're all going to be out to lunch, and I will be the right. No, stop with that nonsense. Everyone else is all looking at the same thing that you're looking at. You're not any smarter than someone else. And that's what's so important. Minutes ago, I was on Twitter and someone said, I'll believe it when it lands in my bank account. That type of person is going to go bankrupt in 2023. Absolutely going to go bankrupt. That is a person who's not doing anything with themselves, with their money, with their finances. And we got to leave those people behind. They're going to be on the street. And you know what they resemble? They resemble the 2020 early pandemic people who were told to do certain things. They didn't do it, and then they got evicted. And they said, I didn't know there's eviction moratorium. What did I have to do? I had to go to CDC. What was that? I didn't. Why do I have to do this? You need to do this. Next, do not believe or self validate yourself that you are something special and that this should not happen to you. People go bankrupt who try to convince themselves that there's something special about them. That is why you financially should not be bankrupt. They say, well, I have a college education. I shouldn't go bankrupt. Smart people all the time go bankrupt. Educated people go bankrupt all the time. I took the time and I researched the history of the stocks or the history of the crypto, the history of the real estate, the history of the car investment. People get things wrong all the time. And finally, the risk. Did you assess the risk? Somewhere during the pandemic, people forgot the idea of assessing risk when determining how to invest. There's risky and there's not a risky. Where in that spectrum do you land? Do you love risk or do you hate risk? Years ago, before there was crypto, before there was any of this, we talked about risk in evolving emerging markets. Emerging markets like Latin America, those were risky investments at the time. And they were high yield bonds or high yield maturity instruments. They were great, but they were also very risky. The local government could come in and have a coup d'etat overnight. That's risky. You've seen risk. That's risk. Do you want to chase down a higher yield for that type of risk, or are you able to sleep at night? This is where people will go bankrupt in 2023. They will go bankrupt in 2023 because there has been this egomaniacal, self-proclaimed, I'm always right, I will get it right, and everyone else doesn't know what they're doing. And hey, Willpower, hey, King Edmund, how are you doing? And what's going to happen is that people who do not understand where this economy is going, that is going to really leave them in big problems. It's going to leave them in big problems. You know, there was an old theory in construction or building where a builder comes in or an engineer and says, I can build a house on the side of this hill. No one else sees how they can build a house on the side of the hill. I understand how I can build a house on the side of the hill. Do you think there's no other engineer or architect that figure out how to build the house on the side of the hill besides you? It's that type of dangerous self inner talk that's caused you to go bankrupt. Not knowing what you're doing, not taking the time to learn what you're doing, and then trying to self-validate yourself with a lot of nonsense is really going to send you to the poorhouse in 2023. No one is ever tough with their tough love towards you. Everything is always positive. Everything is always, you're going to be fine. Everything is going to be great. No, there are people who literally do nothing, learn nothing, don't assess what they have done that's wrong and make changes, and they are going to be in big trouble in 2023. If you're a particular group you identify with, a part of society, whatever group it is, when it comes to money, do not believe you are more important than someone else. This is also very critical. There is a lot of people that believe that they deserve something better than everyone else because they identify with a particular group. Again, this is also very dangerous talking because, thank you, Willpower, King Emoji, because if you believe that your group needs to be taken care of better than anyone else, the question is, by who? Hey, Team Angel, how are you? The question is by who? No one is going to take care of you except you. So do not sit back and again say, I deserve it. I don't have to do anything. It's all going to send you into bankruptcy. Tonight we're going over why you will go bankrupt in 2023 if you make the same errors that you made in 2022. We all make errors. No one is perfect. We all have room for improvement. We have room for improvement on a daily basis, weekly and monthly and even annual basis. It's what we say to ourselves, it's what we do with ourselves, and it's also how we assess the situation. Number one. What's important to remember is that you need to start making changes right now. You need to start making changes. Hey, Gail, how are you? You need to start making changes right now to what you're doing with your money. So, do you have enough money saved up? How are those savings accounts doing? How is that saving account doing compared to 6 months ago? Is it less? Is it gone? Is it getting devalued because it's all in a particular stock? And there's Team Angel, there's Clem as well, Clem the Sim. And there's Gail as well. How is that savings account doing? Look at it right tonight. How is that savings doing right tonight? If that savings account is really almost not there, big warning signal. Big warning signal. You need to fix that right away. It's December. We're going into January. You cannot start January with no savings in your name. You start today by getting savings. Next, what type of debt do you have? And why is that debt where it is? Can you eliminate some of that debt, and where can you eliminate some of that debt from? Do it right tonight. I don't care if you're low income. I don't care if you're upper middle class. I don't care if you're rich, if you're poor. Everyone has adjustments they need to make in their budgeting. And that's why a series of reports released the last 2 weeks say people are losing their shirts because they're no longer budgeting. Budgeting is so important. It's basically saying, how much am I putting out and how much is coming in? Next, stop telling yourself stupid remarks. Stop repeating to yourself ignorant statements as though you know something and no one else knows it. This is dangerous. It's as though you are doing a self-propaganda machine with yourself. I'm great because I'm going to win the lottery. That's the oldest version of this. I'll be fine because I'm going to win the lottery, and so I won't have to worry about my bills. Good. Stop with that. Stop with that right now. I'm going to be fine because Bitcoin's going to come back and it's going to go to 30,000. Stop with that nonsense. Stop with that nonsense right now. I will be fine because the recession's only going to be for, certain industries, and I will be rolling in my sushi. I will be fine because I'll always have sushi. Well, you may have sushi, but the rest of us need to live on a little bit more on something else other than sushi, Crayola. That is the big difference. Why will you be going bankrupt in 2023? You will go bankrupt in 2023 if you repeat nonsense to yourself. You validate your errors with self-validation statements. No, just admit you made a mistake. Making mistakes is totally natural. Financial mistakes, risk assessment mistakes, investment mistakes, we've all made mistakes. We've all made them. But just learn from the mistake and grow from it. Do not keep on repeating the same mistake. And do not keep yourself in the same position you are here that you are tomorrow. I'm always reassessing myself. I'm always reassessing myself. Can I change this to change that? Can I modify this to go to there? Does this work? Does that work? Certainly in this video, you saw the title was different. Video title was totally different. I'm going bankrupt. I'm going bankrupt. Who's going bankrupt in 2023? I'm not going to go bankrupt. I'm not going to let myself go bankrupt. But are you going to let yourself to go bankrupt? You're not. You're not going to let yourself go bankrupt because you take the time to learn to earn. You are preparing your savings, you're preparing your debt levels, you're preparing the trajectory of where you want to end the year of 2023 with, to how you're starting the year of 2023 with. You're making sure that you do not repeat the same mistakes that you made in early 2022. We've all made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. I thought earlier today, right before I went on camera, I thought to myself, I was not really with you for those first 2 months of 2022 because I was in the hospital. And then after that, it was sort of a struggle coming on camera, so I was just trying to get videos out almost to like April. So I was not all here, completely physically and until about April. So um, it was a lot of lost time. This year it's not that case. This year I'm ending the year with you. I'm starting the year with you. And so we're going to watch together how we can take are learning and take it to another level. I have a lot more to teach you on this channel, in addition to all the subjects which are staying. I just want to add lots more subjects for me to teach you so that you understand better how to go from A to Z and get in a better financial state for you and your family. So God bless. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you for everyone who joined in tonight's live chat. And we'll try it again soon. Hope you like the classes. And by the way, if you're asking, they are cheap. They're an imitation of a particular shades that are almost $500. So there you go. And Clem the Sun, thank you for being a member for 2 months across the board. And thank you for all the beautiful people who are in the live chat tonight, like Gail and Will and Crayola. Remember, you will not go bankrupt in 2023. If you make adjustments to yourself right now, always self-evaluate. It's fine to make errors, improve yourself, and we'll be along with the ride. We're far from over with this discussion. Hey, Susie, how are you? Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful night, and stay with LA for more.